Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome toxically masculine Tommy, otherwise known as TMT, in the house. I want you all to feel the wound. It's the truth in my words. I've been quiet for too long. The truth should be heard. Tracking your flight like vegan versus ex-vegan guerrilla warfare, where the people like you are dense. So boys calling me out is a quick way to get referred to in the past tense. I know your brain fog is like Alzheimer's, but you, Paul, look like a two-faced rapper with four shiners. The never really vegan rhymer, turning you wannabe legends to old-timers. My canine's like a viper biting through your one-liners. Ex-vegan Inc. and we're about to make you famous, taking over Earth and still kicking in Uranus. It's okay to be hard and stay true, man, but what is it you say, that we are all human? This one's for you, the ones that you're close to. Show some love, it's what you're supposed to. No, you're not the baddest or cool, just a minuscule fish caught up in the shallowest pool. You're not a big name player, in fact it's true. You never would have been shit without the vegan cats you knew. You got lucky, rode the coattails of everyone's fame, and made monetary off of the flow. In 2 years ain't nobody gonna remember your name. You hear what you wanna hear and say that I'm the big bad daddy Tommy with the spear. But all I hear is your insecurity and your lack of maturity. The only person who I listen to and can judge me is God, not some over-the-hill wannabe e-celeb sitting in his kitchen who thinks he's God. I realise life is short, so I'm marking the day. Now it's full speed ahead, I'll rest when I'm dead. And I couldn't give a shit what any man said. I live what I wanna live, buy what I wanna buy, do what I wanna do, try what I wanna try, fear nothing, taking chances, not afraid to fail, always making advances. So when I ride on the Grim Reaper's highway, no regrets, soy boys, I did it my way. More importantly though, I proved everyone wrong. It's all regardless what you say when you're hitting the bong. Words by my boy John Cena. So guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been too long, but we're here. I'm still alive. I'm still living on that non-vegan diet. I've not wasted away. But today, we're going to give you the gift that keeps on giving. We're going to give you those amazing, those vegan guys. Paul, to be exact, he's going to give us some life lessons on how to be a better human. So to give you some context, I made a video of me recently, but we've got to take you back to June the 17th this year. To give you a little context where all this started, it was actually put in the John Venus video. So we're going to start with this, going to give you a little bit of reflection, then we're going to take it on from there. So let's take it away.
To eat, to plug the gap in their diet that wouldn't have been there had they been eating properly in the first place. But the reason I wanted to do this video is because it links in with what I've been talking about in many of my kitchen vlogs over the last couple of years, which is toxic masculinity.
Toxic masculinity.
You can pin that on your kid all you want.
To be the big daddy. You want to be the big daddy with the spear.
In Michelle's video, she cites some comments on John's live chat that he did recently from Tommy Kelly, who used to be Tofu Tommy, who I blocked on Facebook 6 months ago when he started talking bullshit about how a nurse was telling him he had to eat non-vegan things. Guys, if you want to be the big man, the big daddy, the big I'm the father, I'm the hunter, with the spear, I must be man. You see, that doesn't exist anymore. That's not a real thing, and that's not what being a real man is. In fact, can you just add 2 letters to the
what a real man
front
is.
of that? Human. Can you just be a decent human? And
now, full context, I don't agree with hunting, but I'm not going to judge anybody else's life. But for him to say, can you just be a real man? Who is he to define what a real man is, yet call out everybody else for being toxically masculine? Seems a bit hypocritical to me. Takes us up to the present day, or should I say August 19th. I'm just getting around to do this. I've got better things to do with my time, but here, we've just got to get away with it. Like I say, he always says things like, I hate making videos like this, but let's get into it and let's see what he says.
continue is for non-bullshitting humans to stand by and allow the bullshitting. I'm not going to allow the bullshitting.
He's not going to allow the bullshitting, okay? He's Don Corleone from the Mafia. He's coming to get you. Just watch out, bro. He's coming to get you. He's going to put a horse's head in your bed, even though he's vegan, because he's not really vegan.
Those vegan guys.
Oh.
Hiya.
Hiya.
This is one of those. I don't enjoy these kind of videos at all. I really don't like these kind of videos. I don't even like the fact that these kind of videos exist on YouTube. But now and again, I've done a video talking about how disappointed I was with Tim Sheaf. I've done a video talking...
this is the gift that keeps on giving.
Sverich, and Tim Sheaf.
Can't tell this bullshit.
What's Samanoff, can't remember her name.
Didn't you?
And, you know, I did a...
Do you know, see what he does there, right? He says that he hates making these type of videos. Doesn't he like doing them? He hates that they're on YouTube. Then he goes into the list of people that he's actually made the videos to. It's like, come on, Paul, at least be honest about it. We know how YouTube works. It's all about the views and the shekels. At least admit it. Like I say, you've already admitted you wanted to be a full-time YouTuber, and you've got your Amazon wish list there and bashing out the Patreon. At least be honest about it, mate. Come on. You're better than that.
A video talking about my disappointment with John Venus, and in that same video, I did mention the name Tommy Kelly. And that was who I was referencing in yesterday's live, just in case any of you were wondering. Well, time to name and blame.
Blame.
Now.
No name and shame.
So, just going to give you a little bit of background. Tommy Kelly was formerly Tofu Tommy.
Biggest mistake in my life.
When I first came across Tommy, we became friends on Facebook. He was very supportive of us in the beginning of our YouTube channel, and there are even vlogs where I beg people to go over to his channel.
See by the way he does that there, he begs people to go over into my YouTube channel, and they need to literally beg for people to go over and let him. Oh. Right, Paul, I still support you and I've got nothing against you. I'm just actually replying to this because this is no hate. It's just a response video. It's just for what it is. It's entertainment. It's fun. This is all it's about. Don't take life so seriously, for God's sake.
On this channel. And I saw some earlier pictures of Tommy when he was at the height of his anorexia. And then, of course, I knew him and was seeing his regular vlogs, and there was definitely a marked improvement. He was on the...
Right, see when he says this, marked improvement. When I left veganism, I was around the 50 kilogram mark. Now, I'm almost 70. I was constantly trying to gain weight and muscle, failing to do so because I had stabbing pains under my left rib, constant diarrhea, blood passing in the toilet constantly, up to 16 times a day. I was suffering mouth ulcers, brain fog, short-term memory loss. I even had facial drooping, and my wife thought I had a stroke as well at one point because I was slurring my words. I'm going to put up a picture of me when just shortly before I left veganism, actually me in the gym thinking I had built muscle, and I'm going to put up a picture of what I'm like now. Just to give you some context, you let me know down in the comments if you see the massive difference. Can you tell me that I was recovering, that I was doing well? If you think I was actually doing well when I was vegan, I really don't know what to say. But, yeah.
The road to recovery. Anyway, this one day, suddenly out of the blue, Tommy declares on Facebook that his ED nurse, eating disorder nurse, had told him that he needed not to be vegan anymore because it wasn't working. And a lot of Tommy's vegan friends, of course, commented on that post, and Tommy's family members and meat-eating friends were horrifically abusive to a lot of those posters who were friends of Tommy's, who were just shocked, like, what? This can't be right. ED nurses are not nutritionally trained for a start. They're calorifically trained, not nutritionally.
Right, so this point I'm going to address. He talks about the eating disorder nurse telling me that I wasn't to be vegan anymore. What he doesn't even understand, he doesn't seem to understand how an eating disorder team actually work. It's led by an eating disorder nurse who passes on the information. She works within a team of people like dietitians, psychiatrists, doctors. They all work in a close-knit group to actually cater what is best for you. She was working from the dietitian very, very closely. It was all guided by the dietitian, the doctor, and the psychiatrist. And the eating disorder nurse, she's basically there to help with the therapy side of things that's passed on from the psychiatrist, and obviously to make sure that you're gaining weight. That's what actually happened, Paul. If you're that silly and you can't understand that, I don't know what else to say. You actually, as well, you addressed the post that I made. What actually happened there was quite a lot of, I would say at least 30% of the vegan friends were actually really, really supportive, and they're still the people that are on my Facebook and who I'm friends to and closely with in real life. They're actually great, great people. They were supportive and they said so in a good, good way. The other 70 were, quite frankly, absolute assholes, and that is the only way I can be nice about that. There is no other way to be nice about it. They were absolute assholes, and they were constantly bashing about I was an animal abuser, this, that, and the next thing. Yes, I didn't like what my family were saying back to them, but at the same time, my family were simply defending me because people were lashing out at me. I would expect the same thing if I was lashing out at you, Paul. If your husband or any of your family would lash back at me, of course they would, because why should your family sit back and someday be abusive to you and you take it? That's what family does. That's what real friends do. Actual friends that are just there for the ideology sit back and actually just let that happen. I can't say any more than that. Obviously your family's going to stick up for you. Everybody's family would, because they were being toxic.
Anyway, I watched that happen live on Facebook.
Live?
And I was absolutely, utterly appalled.
It wasn't appalled at the vegans though.
Tommy.
It was only appalled at my family telling them to shut their gob.
At that point, I was very disappointed that he was supporting the abuse towards concerned friends.
Listen, that's where he's totally lying. I wasn't supportive of that. I actually sat back and actually totally distanced myself from it because it was getting beyond a joke. My family said to me, look, just ignore it, we'll deal with this. And they were commenting back to the people to tell them either to do one off my Facebook if they weren't going to be there, to actually be supportive, because I was doing what professionals told me to do. But of course, you would rather that I just die for the animals, because you're never really vegan unless you do that, aren't you?
And I've noticed Michelle Law's having a lot to do with him at the moment, and he takes part in her lives a lot, and she reads out what he says a lot. She's got a meeting planned with him. I don't get that. You do you, Michelle. I'll do me. I think that when someone shows you who you are, who they are, you should believe them and move on from them.
This is a good point he actually made there. He says, when somebody shows you who they are, you should move on for them and believe them. Well, I just want to give you a little context. When he actually said that he blocked me on Facebook, he actually blocked another vegan friend who is actually October Rain Rocks. What he actually did there was, and she's actually, Loss is a great, great friend. She's one of the most amazing people you could actually meet. She would help anybody. Like I say, she goes through an awful lot. She's got a son to look after. She's one of the most beautiful souls that I actually know, and a dear, dear friend. He actually blocked her on Facebook, all because she wanted to have a discussion about how they could cater like vegan activism and obviously veganism to her son who's actually got autism. And he basically said, I think it was his exact words, that she was constantly messaging through the night and keeping him up, and he actually blocked her because of that. That is vegan compassion for you. At least Michelle Lowe actually done the good thing and had Loss on the channel to discuss that. She's the better person for that. So what can I say about that? I should have probably believed him what he was like.
So before this whole blocking thing with Tommy, he'd gone through this bit of shit with with YouTube, whereby this video of his with he was very proud of it, 25,000 views, a day in the life of a male anorexic or something like that was the title. I'd never watched it, and YouTube had taken it down, and he was really upset about it. Anyway, a few days later, he re-uploaded it under a different name, obviously, and I thought I should watch this really because, and I personally think that it was not necessarily a day in the life of, but it was slight glamorization. There was a scene where, you have to think about this, right? There was a scene where what Tommy had to do first was put a camera in a fridge, start it recording, shut the fridge, then open the fridge, look around, disappointedly shake head and close the fridge. That one thing, I just thought, oh my God, that was so contrived.
Oh, wow. Paul, can you not even see for that what that was? That was just a prop to show you what it's like in somebody's mind with an eating disorder. When they're actually looking in a fridge, what they're looking for is, should I eat? Should I not eat? Should I eat more? Should I keep eating more? That can be for anything. That can be when you're going through binges and everything. That is what I was trying to display, what it's like in somebody's mind with an eating disorder. It's not contrived. It's showing you what it's actually like, the mental torment that people with eating disorders go through at that time. If you actually think that that's glamorising something, that's making myself look something that I'm not, to basically get sympathy. I'm not about sympathy. I'm not a victim. I've actually recovered. I work with one of the charities in the UK doing volunteer work and things like that. It would be absolutely stupid of me to do that. Like I say, what I was actually trying to show you was how difficult it is in somebody's mind with an eating disorder. That's what it was. Like I say, people shouldn't be ashamed to actually talk about their past, because that's what it actually was. And at that day, like I said, I was doing really, really well with my eating disorder at that point. That was an extremely bad day because it was filmed around some bad news in the family, which I don't really want to go into, but it's what you've got to do when you've got an eating disorder. It's not about food. The trigger is something in your life that triggers that. For me, it's always about grief and stress. So that one day over nearly 4 years ago was actually a really, really bad day that got to me, and I wanted to be honest and show you what was going on in my mind. And I thought, is that going to kind of relay it? Educating Shani's done similar videos. I fully recommend you go and check out her channel. She's done a day in the life of a bulimic, which was very in similar nature to that, because we want to show you what it's actually like for an eating disorder sufferer, because it's a battle against your own mind. You've got to do the thing every day that keeps you alive, but at the same time is the hardest thing, because to face your fears is the thing that you actually fear the most, which is the food. But that's not what actually the food is about. The food is actually about the control element of it. If you can't understand that, I don't know what to say.
This is not a drama. This is supposed to be a day in the life, a real thing anyway.
It was.
And then all that happened, and I moved on from Tommy, and he'd already shown me who he was. I should have believed him. He'd already shown me who he was when I watched that video. I should have believed him, and I didn't.
And he faced all people.
So that's my bad. However, when I saw him liking all the hateful comments against his friends and supporters and concerned friends, that was when I kind of blocked him off.
Because I'm not going to take shit off anybody, that's why.
Tommy,
I wouldn't expect you either.
But when you start to do what I consider to be damage to veganism in general, to try and promote yourself. So there's this article, why has all this been triggered?
Now, first what I want to put out to you, is it just me, or does Paul look absolutely great on that vegan diet? As we would say in Scotland, he looks as if he's had a Glasgow kiss, or he's the love child of Festa. Oh, Paul, I think you need to get checked out, son. That vegan diet's not doing you any good, but yeah, you won't even eat an egg, so you've said in this video, I believe.
Good, Paul. I was just like, whatever, can't be asked with you. Somebody has shared this article on, very reluctantly, I might add, and tagged you in it, Michelle, I tagged you in a comment. I can't remember who it was, but one of my female friends posted this morning from 2 days ago on Primal Edge Health on Facebook and said, I'm only sharing this because I'm disgusted with what Tommy's doing now. And then other people were chiming in about how disgusted they were with Tommy. And it turns out I'm still really fucking disgusted with Tommy as well. Tommy is all about the attention. That one scene in his day in the life video proved that to me. He wasn't getting enough attention as a vegan. The veganism didn't work. Now let's move on to something else. I'm sorry, Tommy, but I'm calling it out like it is.
You call it out as you like, Paul, but I can assure you I wasn't getting enough attention as a vegan, because that's what it's all about. Because I'm not asking for the Amazon wish list and the Patreons and all that shit. Like I say, I was standing outside slaughterhouses for most of the days of the week, actually trying to do my best, going to the animal rescues, doing activism all the time, whilst obviously having a life with my wife who doesn't keep well as well, and that was difficult because I was having to base things around her. But yeah, I wasted time that I probably shouldn't have, and that I can never get back. For you to call that bullshit, Paul, that is absolutely unreal, mate.
It turns out I'm still really fucking disgusted with Tommy as well. Tommy is all about the attention. That one scene in his day in the life video proved that to me. He wasn't getting enough attention as a vegan. The veganism didn't work. Guys. Now let's move on to something else. I'm sorry, Tommy, but I'm calling it out like it is. I'm an attention grabber too. I'm desperate for attention. I'm a 51-year-old queer vegan drag queen, married to a bloke, growing veg in my garden in Limeside, and that's my remit right there. If I can get
Well, I'm proud of you because, I mean, you stand up for who you are, you believe who you are, and that I've got much, much respect for, Paul. But for you to actually come away with shit like this is just absolutely nonsense. I've been a volunteer ambassador for charities for years, actually doing stuff in the media, not because I want attention or anything like that. It's because I actually want to help people and raise awareness. If you think I actually want attention, why am I not on YouTube day in, day out, unlike you, who's on constantly? Yeah, because I'm not in it for the money, I'm not in it for the fame, I'm in it to try and help people and do good in the world. And obviously as well, what I want to talk about is the symptoms I actually had when I was vegan. I was actually suffering constant brain fog, constant short-term memory loss, mouth ulcers, going to the toilet up to 16 times a day with blood coming out my back passage, my wife thinking I actually had a stroke because I had facial droop, slurred speech. Everything was going wrong, stabbing pain under my left rib. Everything just didn't make sense because I 100% thought that what I was doing was the best. Even when my eating disorder recovery team turned around and told me that I had to actually stop being vegan because it just wasn't working for me, it was impacting my recovery. And I've never blamed saying that veganism was the cause of my eating disorder. So for idiots to say that is just insane, because I was doing really well for a while and then all the health issues come in and then it impacted my recovery, stopping me from gaining weight, which that's what I've always said. And to actually put it into perspective, I was suffering things like calcium deficiency, constantly suffering things what they thought was zinc deficiency, or probably EPA and DHA. And the thing about that is, vegans actually falsely believe that these essential fatty acids such as EPA and DHA can actually be found in various seeds such as chia and flax. For example, this is simply not true, as our bodies most of the time for certain people can't actually convert these into efficient quantities, and that's actually proven, and I'll actually put that down in the description, in the comments below, where is an article as well. And vitamin A, like I say, mainly found in animal foods, but like I say, the body must convert obviously these compounds such as beta carotene, alpha carotene and beta cryptozanthine to obviously vitamin A. So that's really hard for a lot of people, they're low converters. But in humans, like I say, this conversion really inefficient as well. So we're about 10 to 20 molecules are carotenoids. need it to obviously make one a vitamin A. In addition, 80% or more of natural vitamin A from animal sources is absorbed, but only 3% or less from carotenoids from plant foods are actually absorbed. And that I've actually seen this from a friend as well. He's linked all this stuff. Great info. Like I say, I've been doing a lot of that. And like I say, what works for one doesn't work for another. And like I say, I'm all for people being vegan, but at the same time, I think it's really understanding that that is not the case for everybody. And Paul, you're looking absolutely terrible, mate. You may think you're doing great, but wow, the bag's under your eyes, mate. Like I say, I don't know what to say. If you can't see it, but you're willing to destroy yourself for the animals, and that I've much respect for the moral belief in, because I do my best within reason. Like I say, I'm only eating chicken and fish because I do care about the animals. And like I say, if you can cut down on what you're doing and try to get from sources that are ethical, such as regenerative agriculture farms, the farm I get my milk from is actually a farm that obviously keeps the calves with their mothers as well. That's doing the best you can. What more can I say about that?
Attention with any of that, then that's what I'll do. I'm not going to get attention through eating the flesh or secretions of an animal that didn't want to die, and I know that. I know it didn't want to die. That's why I'm a vegan in the first place. You couldn't get me to eat a bloody egg if you shat on my neck and called me Dora.
Now, God forbid if he ever gets in that situation where it is a life or death thing. Paul, you may bullshit the rest of your vegan audience be saying shit like this, but at the end of the day, if your life was in the line, you'd do it. Don't try and say you wouldn't, because everybody sees through it. It's just absolutely nonsense.
Might work on Gemini, but not me. So, Primal Edge Health. It's not going to show you, is it? It's going to be a dick. Stop being a dick, Deirdre. I'll whack it. I'll take a picture of it. I'll take a picture of it and whack it up on the screen. Tommy Kelly, formerly Tofu Tommy, has left veganism and vegan activism behind him in favour of a healthier future with animal foods.
See the face?
After being vegan for nearly 4 years, he now sees the essential role of nourishing animal foods for mental and physical strength. Tommy is open about his experience and generously shares his story and the lessons learned so that others do not fall over the same stumbling blocks. 17,000 likes this page has. Tommy is here with us today to share his ex-vegan story. Please share this ex-vegan transformation with others if you have any family or friends that can benefit from reading it. And then, I know I'm putting the picture up, but I'll put them 2 pictures up too. Come on, you can focus on that. So that's Tommy now and Tommy then. And of course the Tommy then picture is Tommy at the height of his anorexia. Because when I knew Tommy, he was way more recovered than that.
The photo he actually showed there was actually December 2015, when I'd actually been about 99% vegan for almost 5 months. All I was having was a little bit of cheese, and actually I'd been out of hospital for quite a long time. Actually, I'd been out for almost 7-8 months, because I got out in April 2015 after the relapse of my dad. So it wasn't at the exact height of my anorexia. That was actually bullshit. And actually, I'll put up a photo now of me around May 2016. And then, like I say, the massive amount of improvement I've had in the last 7 to 9 months has been absolutely unreal. I was eating round about 28 to 3,000. I can do 3 and 4 days a week, and I'm building muscle constantly. And I'll put up a picture now, like I showed you earlier on, about what it was like when I was trying to build muscle as a vegan compared to now. It's all there, it can all be seen. Like I say, this is just absolutely nonsense. Just the usual crap.
As a vegan. So when an attention grabber is trying to get attention desperately in the most disgusting ways, and is enabled in part by some of my vegan colleagues, I'm going to call that shit out.
Call it out. I'm going to call it out. I'm
So
not sure because I'm
blocked,
vegan
banned
for
from
the
this channel.
animals.
Can't respond to this. Sorry. I don't
got
want to
it,
bullshit
Paul.
anymore because the last time.
That's the biggest low-life trick ever. Calls you out in a video and is too scared to actually leave you to comment. You know what I mean? But yeah, he's a hench herbivore lover. As I say, the human herbivore, the human hernia, I should say. What is it? It says, I hate doing these type of videos, but you made me because you were never really vegan for the animals.
That I mentioned Tommy, he came onto the video thread, it was the John Venus one, and starts going on about, I stood up for you when you were, because I mentioned about what I'd seen that night and how disgusted I was. I stood up for you with homophobia. What he means is on one of my vlogs, which I highlighted on YouTube early days, so I got used to it now. At first I was like, people like this still exist? Oh my God, they do. There was a homophobe regular kind of commenter on the channel, and Tommy responded to one of the comments and said, hey, you don't say that, that's horrible. He threw that back in my face.
Firstly, Paul, that wasn't meant to throw back in your face. I'm just saying what actual friends do because I thought you were a friend. But the minute I don't align with your ideology, you use that against me to go straight after me, which kind of says everything, because I wouldn't care if you were vegan or you're not vegan. I treat you as the person you are. I was just merely trying to say that's what friends do. They stick up for one another, and you just showed your true colours that you were never really a friend. That is what I meant. So get it right, I wasn't throwing that back in your face.
I stood up for you with homophobia. See, the thing with me is I'm far too open. Oh, let's be friends. Let's support you.
And that's exactly what I'm like. Very much so, which I actually fought with you. And like I say, anybody that says anything to you about homophobia is absolutely disgusting. Like I say, be yourself. Don't let anybody put you down. Like I say, we should all be able to have love and be the person that we are in this world. And that's what it's all about. It's not about what you are and what you believe in. Like I say, at the end of the day, it's about the person you are, and that's what I believe in.
Each other. And then something like this comes along. And I'm not putting Tommy, because Tommy, sorry, Tommy lad, if you are watching this, you're not in the same league as John Venus and Tim Sheaf and others. They were big vegan YouTubers.
He says that as if it's going to hurt me. Paul, I also like to say, kind of that's the both of us, mate, so don't worry about it. You're not anywhere near him either, so let's don't worry about that.
YouTubers whose change of lifestyle was a massive disappointment, especially because they were incredibly negative about it. However,
I wonder why they're negative about it. Is it maybe the way you treat them like apostates? Because you don't seem to understand the way you treat people when they leave veganism for a health reason or whatever like that. That is what turns them against you. It's like I say, it's not about that. It's just simply the way you treat them, and you wonder why people call you a cult, because that is the way cult members actually treat those that leave. That's the reason.
You're big enough still to have a reach, and your reach right now is based on bullshit.
Based on bullshit.
Based on your attention.
Based on bullshit.
And I
Just remember that.
Out for it.
Called out. He's calling me out.
So yeah.
As Hench Herbivore says, he's calling me out.
Can we just not? When you've been a plant-based eater, because if you've ever been vegan...
That's the way I knew he was going to say that. He was going to throw that as an insult. You're just a plant-based poser. You're just a plant-based poser. You were never really vegan for the animals. Never vegan for the animals.
Like truly vegan, there is no going back.
Well, Paul, I hope, and God forbid, that you have to find that out for yourself, because there'll come a time, unless you go down with the ship, like I say, everybody has to go through that at some point. You've got to become to the point when your health is in balance. It's either you are doing the best you can, and that's what I'm doing.
You might try plant-based eating and then give up on it. So if you've been a plant-based eater, can you make sure that you're actually vegan before you call yourself a vegan? And that's to everyone out there, right?
At the same time he's saying this, I can guarantee over 4 years of veganism, I've done more in the vegan movement than he has done all the time he's been vegan. Apart from him sitting in his kitchen ranting off about shit and making meals and things like that. Fair enough if that's your type of activism, but yeah, I was never really vegan.
If you're eating plant-based foods, great, that's amazing, you're a plant-based eater. If you're vegan, there is no going back. Not ever, not to anything. Mistakes happen, and you feel shit about them, and you...
Yeah, mistakes happen. You take a wee bit of cheese here, and you take an egg there. That mistakes happen, right? Mistakes happen, right? You got that? Don't worry about it.
Rectify them, but there is no going back. You don't willfully eat what has been taken forcefully from animals. You don't do that ever again, not ever again.
No, you just die for the animals. That's what it's all about. On your gravestone they'll say, vegan, died for the animals. That is the only real vegans, because you've got to die a vegan. Yeah, at the same time, Paul, how long have you been vegan? Like I say, were you vegan as a child? You certainly look as if you've been vegan a while, we can tell that, but you know what I mean? Everybody was brought up eating, obviously, animal products and other things, but they'll obviously say that's because you were indoctrinated. You were indoctrinated, you know what I mean? You were indoctrinated.
Really didn't enjoy doing this one. Really didn't enjoy doing it, though. Did you hate shit like this?
Well, Paul, I'll give you a little advice here. Why don't you not do them? If you don't enjoy doing them, like I say, it's not me making videos about yous, it's you making videos about me and the other people. I'm only responding to the shit that yous come away with. Quite sad, really.
Yes, but you know, bullshit's got to be called out. So I'm calling out the bullshit.
And I'm calling
Thank
you
you
out,
so
Paul.
much for watching.
Bullshit.
See you again soon, and I hope it's something nicer. We've got a taste test planned, it's in freezer, I'll tell you.
Brilliant, we're going to try some vegan mock meat, we're going to be sitting in the toilet, we're going to be shitting our brains out for the next couple of days. Some Beyond Burgers.
About 10 another time. See you again very soon. Until then, please be excellent to yourselves and each other.
That's at least the best part of the video. Be excellent to yourselves and each other. I think he should probably follow and practice what he preaches. But anyway, guys, that's all we've got to say about that. Absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, tell me what you think down below. If you want to go and check Fester out, or Fester's Love Child I should say, please do so. Remember, as always, binge on life, purge negativity, starve guilty feelings, purge negativity. Cathartic, isn't it? Anyway, I'll see you all in the next one, guys.